usual sort of things, Everton and Japan, are to take a look ahead to this weekend game against Tottenham Hotspur, back at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Obviously, after a couple of weeks away, we had the international break, and then we were at Man City last weekend for what was a tough game, and obviously a game that Everton played all right in, but ultimately came out with nothing. So this is a nice chance to bounce back against a good team, against a good side, but a team who maybe haven't been firing all cylinders so far, and a side that I think Everton can definitely take something from this weekend. So yeah, Tottenham, the visitors for the first time to Hill Dickinson. Everton not got a great record against Tottenham over the last sort of 10 years or so. It's always been a tricky game. They've had some good teams down the years, and they've got a decent side now. But this season they've been pretty hot and cold. I think similarly to Everton, they've been done their best football away from home, but obviously have to do their best football at home. They obviously beat Man City earlier on the season. They beat Leeds a couple of weeks ago. They drew away in Europe in the weekend to Monaco, drew away at Barlow a couple of weeks earlier. So they looked okay. They looked capable away from home, drew away to Brighton as well, of course. But I think, having watched a few of the Spurs games, I think they're probably a little bit lucky to have maybe as many points as they do. The Man City result was very, very good, but they're very lucky to, for example, get a point against Wolves. I didn't think they played particularly well against Leeds a couple of weeks prior. I thought Leeds gave them some issues. They obviously lost to Villa last time out, which is a tough game for them again. But I think, having read what some of the Spurs fans are saying, how they've started the season, it's not really clicked into gear yet. And you know, that's kind of something where it's been the opposite for Everton, I think. You know, we've kind of shown what we can do a number of times already this season. We just haven't got maybe as many points as we would have liked to kind of show that. Yeah, I feel like this is a really interesting and quite evenly sort of matched game, and it's going to be a difficult one for sure. I think in terms of fitness, Everton are obviously going to be missing Jared Brandthwaite. We knew this time last week that unfortunately injuries extended into probably the new year now, which is a real shame, but ultimately we need him to get better and get fit and make it so that when he comes back he can kind of be back for good. Then that'd be obviously ideal. Everton have looked okay defensively so far this season. I think I'd probably look to maybe move Jacob Bryan into the centre, get to see him there at centre back, and move James Garner back into right back. I think he plays his best football at right back. Jacob Bryan plays his best football at centre back, and I always feel much more comfortable when Michael Keane's not in the team. He had a decent start to the season, but I think I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago that he does worry me still, so we'll see what happens there. But I imagine he probably will look to keep it as kind of steady as he can, especially now at right back. We've got a fewer options because Nathan Patterson's now out injured for the next sort of month or so. So we'll see what he does there. But of course, Merlin Rowe came back last weekend. Wondering whether he can maybe get a chance from the start this week. Jack Grealish obviously couldn't play last weekend, so he's now back. I imagine he'll be back into the team. Kennedy didn't play the last home game because of suspension. So again, I imagine he'll be straight back in there. Is he going to stick with Beto? Is Barry going to get the nod again? We are kind of like, passing back and forth between the strikers at the minute. So I'm always much more excited to see Tierney Barry play, and hopefully this can be the game where he gets his goal. But I imagine it probably will be Beto from the start again. For Tottenham, they're missing Christian Romero centre-back, which is good. Obviously, he's their captain, strong defender. He'll be out. Destiny Doggy is also going to be missing as well. Not a huge kind of issue because Jed Spence is playing well at the moment, filling in there at left back. And Tom Slank is also going to be missing, which is, they've got decent depth in that area now that they've obviously got Richarlison, Randall Colomboani's up there as well. So I think they've got the kind of legs to deal with missing a play like that. And obviously they've got Mohamed Kudus and Javi Simons on either side. I think Kudus has looked decent so far this season, showing what he can do in glimpses. Simons maybe yet to kind of properly get going, but obviously, he takes a game and he's a real talented player, so we've got to look out for him, especially when, for example, Vitaly Mykolenko, I'm not kind of sure how good he is defensively one-on-one. He's let me down a few times so far this season, so let's see how he does this weekend. I'm sure it'll be a tough game for him, but yeah, I think when we played Tottenham over the last few years, you sit there and think they are beatable, but they do have some good players and they've got individual quality. So if we don't beat them, you draw the game, as we have done quite a few times over the last sort of, say, 7 or 8 years, then you sit there and say, okay, I can kind of see how that's happened, but I think this is a game Everton can really win. It'd be really good to go back to this home stadium, continue the unbeaten record, get it into another month, get back into November now, still undefeated. That'd be really, really good. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think the final score will be? And who do you think is going to find an effort at top fees? We'll see you next time. Next one.